What's going on, guys, and welcome to Early Media. My name is Earl. Today we're going to be reviewing one of my favorite new shows right now, Atlanta. Stars Donald Glover, written by Donald Glover, produced by Donald Glover. Even a couple of the episodes are directed by Donald Glover. So this is his baby. This is his work of art. It's got his fingerprints all over it, and I'm excited to say I am very happy with this TV series. I liked episode 1, and then by episode 2 and 3, it just gets even better and better, which is a great sign for a great series. We're going to start off with just a couple of my top favorite things about the show, why I enjoy it as much as I do. And then we'll get into, because at this point we're already about like 4 episodes deep, and then we'll get into a strict review of episode 4, which unfortunately I didn't like as much as the first 3 episodes, but it's still a solid episode in its own right. So, first let's get into what I enjoy about the show. Why is Donald Glover's Atlanta so special? Number one, it feels grounded yet also lighthearted. And what it feels grounded in, and it feels grounded in a sense that you feel like these characters are in a risky, dangerous environment. And so at any point in time, something bad could happen to them. A fatal event, tragedy, accident could happen, but at the same time, it'll undercut that with a laugh, and it'll be a earned, deserved laugh. Nothing cheap, nothing stereotypical, nothing easy. Just laughs that are driven by great writing, and character moments that really work. So that's why I really enjoy this show. Is that you'll find yourself in the middle of laughing at a funny scene, and then bam, just like that, you'll realize like, oh shit, like things get real quick, and suddenly you'll be reminded that these people live in a very poor inner city environment. The characters on the show Atlanta, and a perfect example of that is in episode 2. Because I feel like in episode 1 they tried to hit the mark of that perfect balance between being grounded but also having humor. But in episode 2 they really hit the bullseye, I feel like. And it's that scene when they're at the jail, and you've got that guy who's like high on drugs, and one of the police officers approach him, and everyone's laughing, and Donald Glover's the only person who's like, this is not normal. And as an audience member, you're looking at it like, no, this isn't normal, and this is messed up. But it's funny, so you go ahead and laugh with it because you're not actually in the scene. And then when the guy who was clearly intoxicated on something, or at least just completely inebriated, spits, he drinks, he gets a glass of water and spits on the police officer, and the cop just looks at him and is like, what the fuck? And then just like hits him with his bat, or with his club stick. And then you look at that point, it's not funny anymore, and it's just like, whoa. And even the characters in the show, the secondary characters, weren't laughing anymore. And at that point it's just like a quick reminder of like, this is real. Of course it's not real, but it's just such an accurate depiction of what it is like to grow up in an environment like that, where yes, things can be funny at times, but at the same time things can go downhill real fast. So that's what I really like about this show, is that it has that perfect balance. And I know that Donald Glover was specifically going for that feeling, and I know that he wanted to also specifically address what it feels like to be black in America, particularly in a predominantly black environment or neighborhood or area. And I think this show is executing that very well. The only thing though, and that's what I like about it. So that's the benefit number one. And then number two, what I really enjoy about this show is that also the ancillary characters, the secondary characters, feel authentic. And a lot of times this show has to heavily rely on obviously its main characters, but the only way you're gonna make this thing feel real is the uh, if the people in the background are also playing their part well. Guys who have 1, 2 lines only, and they feel real. Like these extras really do their jobs. People feel like they belong. They feel like they came from that place. And the other thing, the last thing I really enjoy about this show is the writing. Like the writing is sharp, the writing is funny, and the writing is not cheap. All the laughs are earned, like I said earlier. And so it's just a really great show. I know it's written by both Donald Glover and his brother Stephen Glover. Um, so they're both very talented. Unfortunately, episode 4, which I didn't care too much, is written by Donald Glover. But at the same time, I know Donald Glover wrote the first episode. I believe he wrote the second as well. I can check real quick. Let me see. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. But I know episodes 2 and 3, one of each are written by both Stephen Glover and Donald Glover. So it's not as if one, dropped the ball specifically. I don't mean to single out Donald Glover, but he did unfortunately write episode 4. Not the thing. The writing is still good in episode 4, but it is light on the jokes and humor. This episode 4, is a little bit. It might feel a little bit slower because you don't find yourself laughing as much. But the benefit, one of the good things about episode 4 is it really allows you to invest and it fleshes out these characters a little bit more. Some of the ones you weren't really that familiar with. I think one of my roommates are back. So for example, let me see here. For example, the actor Keith Stanfield, his name is Darius on the show. He kind of looks like Dave Chappelle. He kind of resembles Dave Chappelle. And he even gets into a lot of these like philosophical moments where he's like talking about conspiracy theories, and he just kind of has these moments where he'll just give this glimpse of enlightenment to Donald Glover, and it seems like, or Donald Glover's character, and it seems like nonsense, but it's actually kind of deep and real. Um, that character Darius gets fleshed out a lot. You even get a lot of specific side time with the actor Paperboy. And Paperboy, have some moments away from Donald Glover. And you get to just kind of see him do his own thing, um, which is nice. This is the first episode that doesn't feature uh, uh, Ern Marks. His name is Ern on the show, but Donald Glover's character, his girlfriend, she's not really featured on this episode. So yeah, this episode really is just a moment to get a chance to really get to know Paperboy a little bit more. Definitely Darius. I like his character. Um, and also Donald Glover. And it's getting to the point where he's the past first couple of episodes, I feel like he's been able to laugh at his predicament, laugh at the fact that he is struggling to provide for his daughter, laugh at the fact that his job isn't paying well, laugh at the fact that, he can't go home to his parents, or they aren't supporting him. Not necessarily laugh, but you know what I mean, just make light of the situation. But it's like in this episode, it's just not being able to, not having things work out is really just reaching its toll for him. And I think that's necessary. Like I like that they're willing to go there with this episode. Um, I also in this episode I enjoyed the commentary on the phony exploitive nature of social media, which they delve into a little bit with that one guy. I don't know the actor's name, but it gets a little ridiculous. His scenes aren't necessarily funny. It wasn't necessarily funny to me, but at the same time, it was relevant to what you see every day. Even just what I'm doing right now, just the fact that, even someone as simple as a local rapper trying to make it big is going to have people trying to take advantage of him, exploiting him through social media. And the whole thing is just a big, uh, it could be almost like some kind of scheme or like some kind of con work or something like that, because he first approaches them as a friend, and then you get on social media and he sees he's like back talking them and making jokes of them just so to get likes on Instagram. So the whole thing is kind of ridiculous. It just kind of like sheds a little commentary on what it's like to do anything social in our viral environment where anything you do can get uh, thrown online and laughed at and made fun of. And but behind that, there's real people behind that kind of stuff. Like you can't just say these things about people and expect people to just not be affected by it negatively. So I like that they commented on that. I like that they did that. Um, Let me see. And yeah, that's basically it. I know I didn't really care for as I have a as a negative. I didn't really care for the scene where Paperboy's in the car with the guy who's talking about exploiting him on the internet, and then the kid in the back gets censored. I thought that joke was just kind of, it took me out of the scene, for a show that makes you really feel like these characters are actually there. The fact that they edited and censored that kid, cursing in the back, it just completely reminded me that this is a TV show, which you never want to ruin people's suspension of disbelief, which I feel like that did, unfortunately. But beyond that, the show is solid. I'm really looking forward to episode 5. Um, and so when that drops, I'll have a review for that. So let me know what you guys think about Atlanta. Do you disagree? Do you think it doesn't hit the mark as far as balancing groundedness and humor? Do you think it's an accurate depiction of what it's like to be black in a poor city in America, specifically Atlanta? Let me know what you guys think about that. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.